Hi, my name is Isabel and I'm with the Invasive Species Council of Metro Vancouver, and today we're going to be talking about Daphne Laurel, also known as spurge laurel, an invasive species found throughout Metro Vancouver. This invasive is common on Vancouver Island, the Gulf Islands, and Bowen Island, where we are here today at Bowen Island. And I'm going to be talking about the identification and management of the species. So this is Daphne Laurel, and you can see it gets pretty tall. It gets about 1.5 meters tall. It's an evergreen species, meaning that it doesn't lose its leaves in the winter, and the leaves have a whorled composition, meaning that they kind of go in this like spiral arrangement on the stem. And the leaves are dark green and glossy, and they actually do have, the plant itself has toxic sap, toxic bark, and toxic berries. So that you can see I'm wearing gloves here so that because it can cause skin irritations. In the spring, Daphne Laurel will have yellow flowers and dark blackish colored berries in the summer. And as you can see where the new growth is, that is where the flowers and berries would be. This one doesn't have any. Daphne Laurel can be found at roadsides and/or moist wooded areas. It is also a very adaptable species and can grow in sun or shade, which makes it a very successful invasive. It can be spread by either its root system laterally or through the berries, which are eaten by birds and then dispersed throughout areas. Here is the growing stages of Daphne Laurel. Here is 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and 3+ years. So there are two ways to manage Daphne Laurel. One of them is pulling and digging, and the other one is cutting. Cutting should be done when they're a bit more mature and they can't be dug. And this would be where you dig enough in the ground where you don't see the brown woody stem anymore and it starts to look more orangey. That's where you cut it so there's less resprouting. For pulling, I want to make sure to be wearing long sleeves and gloves to protect myself. And you just grab the plant at the base and you pull it. And all of these are connected laterally through the root system. So you are probably breaking the roots off, but it's quite easy to pull out. And this is kind of what it looks like. There is a smell associated with it when you're pulling it that can cause irritation when inhaling it, so just be cautious of that. Another one, you can see this one has a much larger root. It almost feels like it's going to be easier to pull it. So this one was actually easier to pull than dig. So when removing these plants off-site and disposing of them, a few things you should note is to not compost them, to not chip them. Chipping them releases the toxin in the air, and also burning is hazardous as the sap will release the toxins into the air. And also, if you are transporting it, make sure that the plant is not in the enclosed vehicle with you, as the toxins can also be in the air and can be irritable inside a vehicle. Some people may have Daphne Laurel in their gardens, and which still poses a threat for spread, as birds can eat the berries and spread them throughout natural areas. So instead of planting this invasive in your garden, a good alternative is Oregon grape, which is actually just naturally growing right beside it. So maybe check this plant out instead and plant it in your garden. So as I mentioned before, Daphne Laurel is a toxic plant, and there is a toxic plant warning issued by WorkSafe BC, which, if you want more information on if you come in contact with this plant and do experience any skin rashes or swelling, check out the link in the description below. For more information on invasive species, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social media and check out www.iscmv.ca.